love what Jaxson Dart has done for the Giants. He's created energy, makes big plays. He's making it happen for him. He is very loose with the football. He's only thrown 3 interceptions, but he's going to have one of those Brett Favre days where he throws 5 or 6. He's gotten away with some things.
It's just a matter of time.
That's going to catch up. I mean, I still love what he's doing for him and how he's made plays, but he's going to have one of those 3 or 4 interception days coming up soon.
It's Halloween week of Flutie versus Stegall. The haves and the have-nots across the National Football League are coming to the forefront. That is Doug Flutie, the Heisman Trophy winner. That is Milt Stegall. Every week the fellas drop their top picks, and they are crushing it this season against the spread. This is the show where we talk about NFL storylines while the guys share their picks, and they'll also share their own locker room stories. I'm your host, Arash Madani. Please like and subscribe. We thank you for making Flutie versus Stegall one of North America's fastest growing podcasts. And as always, we are powered by BODOG. All right, gentlemen, that smile on Milt Stegall's face as he went 2-1 last week. Doug Flutie was 1-2. Doug, you had to be feeling good. You had the Bengals minus 6.5. They're up 2 scores. The New York Jets mounting.
The Jets get off the mat. And my buddy in the corner says, yeah, Cincinnati's up by 14. You're good. Don't worry about it. Oh, it's a 7-point game. All of a sudden, it was a 6-point game. Why did they go for 2 so early, too? I'm like, what the heck? They wanted to beat the spread there. It was a 6.5. I'm like, they went from 8 down to 6, and then all of a sudden the Jets get up off the mat.
Oh, man. Life in the National Football League. It is something else. All right, let's get right to it. Green Bay, 12.5-point favorites over Carolina. It's wild how quickly things change. The Panthers had won 3 straight coming into it, and then no Bryce Young. And then Jordan Love against basically his mentor, the protege, delivers, on a night where he had 20 straight completions. Love just had his 16th start with multiple touchdown passes and no picks. The only player with more in their first 40 career starts as Patrick Mahomes. It feels like Jordan Love is quietly having a great season. And Doug, that's probably why you like Green Bay to cover 12.5 against the Panthers.
No doubt. Panthers are struggling and Green Bay is on fire right now. He's starting to use the tight end more. Jordan Love protects the football. All these good things that you just said about, the no picks and multiple touchdown passes. I just think their pass rush is really, that just makes a difference. It's like keeps teams off balance. You saw it in the Monday night game. I think they're starting to roll. Green Bay's looking good right now.
Milt, what'd you see from Jordan Love?
I saw a guy who was sitting for 3 or 4 years, and I see now that he's coming into his own. It helps when you can sit back and watch a player like Aaron Rodgers and just watch the NFL as a whole and not have that pressure on you being a number 1 draft pick. And now I think this is his 3rd year starting, and you can see now that everything is just slowing down for him. And you know this, Doug, being an NFL quarterback, when things start slowing down, where you can see things happening before they actually happen, these are results you get. And as Doug mentioned, he has a defense. He knows he's going to get plenty of opportunities to go out there and shine, so there's no pressure on him to go out there and try to score every single down. Sometimes you have to punt the ball. As an offense, you want to end with kicking the ball, either punting the ball, kicking an extra point, or kicking off. One of those 3. And if you can do that, you have a great opportunity to win, and that's exactly what's going on with Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers.
No doubt. He doesn't have to take risks because he knows he can get the ball back. You're right. He's careful. He's being careful with the ball. And the comfort zone that you're talking about, when you see guys making touch passes and just kind of giving a ball to this guy, he's not sped up. He's not playing too fast. He's relaxed.
So Doug likes Green Bay minus 12.5. Both of you like San Francisco to cover by a field goal against the New York Giants, an embattled Giants team that, man, it just seems nothing can go their way.
Yep.
First, they lose Malik Neighbors to the ACL. Then Cam Scatterbo out for the year on a gruesome-looking injury. It looked like that terrific front had a fumble on Jalen Hurts, but then they called forward progress. And San Francisco, it was a tough day at the office against Houston. But you guys both like the 49ers to cover. Milt, let's start with you. Why?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they have a future, maybe franchise quarterback in Jaxson Dart, but it's not going to happen this year. He doesn't have the weapons. He lost his star receiver, lost an up-and-coming star running back. The defense is okay, but they just don't have enough. And I like what I've seen. And even if Mac Jones is starting, Mac Jones should be a starting quarterback in this league. Regardless if it's with San Francisco or someone else, he's a starting quarterback. He's proven that in the games he started this year. He's shown that he's a starting quarterback. So whoever lines up behind center for the 49ers will get it done against the Giants. They just don't have enough. Like I say, Jaxson Dart, in the future, he may be their guy, but I think that novelty is worn off for the Giants, and it just won't happen this year.
I wonder, Doug, is Mac Jones the 2025 version of what Sam Darnold was in 2024? You know, the veteran quarterback that has some time to figure things out.
Well, it's also being in the right situation with the right team and stuff and things surrounding you, having weapons around you, or just maybe even offensive coordinator that you see eye to eye with, that type of thing. And both Milt and I, it's funny, we look at this matchup and we both go, not that we're so high on the Niners, but we're not buying the Giants. And I think that's what's happening here. I love what Jaxson Dart has done for the Giants. He's created energy, makes big plays. He's making it happen for him. He is very loose with the football. He's only thrown 3 interceptions. But he's going to have one of those Brett Favre days where he throws 5 or 6. He's gotten away with some things.
It's just a matter of time.
That's going to catch up. I mean, I still love what he's doing for him and how he's made plays, but he's going to have one of those 3 or 4 interception days coming up soon.
It's Flutie versus Stegall. It's Halloween week. We are powered by BODOG. We are going through the picks for this week in the National Football League. Doug likes Green Bay to cover over Carolina, 12.5. Both Milt and Doug like San Francisco over the Giants. It is the game of the week. Western New York is going to be buzzing on the first Sunday of November. It's the 4:25 time slot. It's the 2 heavyweights, the Blue Bloods of the AFC. Kansas City goes into Buffalo. They are a slight favorite. Patrick Mahomes, a little shaky in the first half on Monday night against Washington. Then he turned into Patrick Mahomes. Yes. And how about Josh Allen? Now has 46 career games with a pass and rush touchdown, the most by any player in NFL history. Milt, we know Buffalo is going to be crazy come kickoff. It'll be hours of table jumping and the rest. And you think KC can do it again to the Bills?
Yes. And originally, I had the Bills. I thought the Bills could pull it out. Josh Allen has actually had much success against Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. He's 4-1. Of course, in the postseason, he's 0-3. But in the regular season, he's had some success. But this is a different team. That defense is pretty bad. Hot garbage, cold garbage, warm garbage, whatever you want to call them. Offensively, they've been okay at best. I mean, they haven't had a game where they've had more than 245 net passing yards since the opening game of the season. So this is not the same team. Josh Allen is still Josh Allen, but who is he throwing the ball to? Yes, James cooks. He can cook. When he's cooking, everyone is eating. But they just don't have enough firepower, and that defense can't get it done. Patrick Mahomes is cooking right now. He's the one who's cooking.
Gets Rashee Rice back. That KC offense is starting to go. Doug, I feel like it'd be sacrilege if we talk about KC Buffalo without your thought. I want to add this for Allen. Look, Khalil Shakir may not be a number 1 receiver. I think we can all agree on that. But most yards after contact this season, he has it at 189. Josh Allen may have something there, Doug. He's just trying to figure out what it is with Shakir.
when we talk about yards after catch, that's toughness and catching the ball in space and making people miss, all that stuff. But that's why I stayed away from this game. I love. It's like, number one, I'm biased to Buffalo, and I want to pick Buffalo. Kansas City is now gaining momentum, gaining ground, starting to look like Patrick Mahomes again. Blah blah blah. It's like, and they're in Buffalo, so I'm like, I'm going to stay away from this one for as far as picking. And so now I can just sit back and root for Buffalo. No, but what's starting to happen with Kansas City is starting to get scary. It's like they're starting to look like themselves a little bit. And, it's a long season. It's a long season. We can talk about that later, too, with other teams that are starting to gain a little momentum. But the Buffalo Bills defensively have not been stopping people, and that's a scary situation for Buffalo.
One quick question. Why is this game on Sunday night? Can they flex and put this game on? This is the game, one of the games of the year, and it's on Sunday afternoon. It should be on Sunday night.
Nansen Romo and CBS said, no way. We need to keep this one.
Oh, my goodness.
That's flex schedule, and they're not going to.
It's not going to do it. All right.
It's Flutie versus Stegall. We are powered by BODOG. Milt and Doug going through their picks of the week. Milt overall for the season, 14-7. Doug is 12-9. Who would have thought another potential marquee game of the week would have Indianapolis featured as it? Indianapolis as a 3-point favorite on the road. Doug Flutie, life comes at you fast. You like the Colts to cover against a Steelers team that suddenly looks like it has a lot of holes on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, the Colts are on fire. They're just, what they're doing offensively, and Jonathan Taylor's season that he's having is just amazing. The resurgence of Daniel Jones, not resurgence, the emergence, I guess, more of Daniel Jones. Steelers, and I look at this, the older quarterbacks, as you play, as the season goes, it gets a little tougher. You start getting rid of the ball a little earlier. You're not making as many big plays. You're getting a little more banged up. And I think that's what we saw this weekend with Aaron Rodgers. I just think he's starting to get rid of the ball a little quicker, getting it out of his hands, fading away and throwing. Something I call it chuck and duck. You back off, you throw, you fall off your back foot. I did that a lot. But it just feels like this Colts team, and 30-point games 6 times already this year, doing things that even Peyton Manning didn't do with the Colts.
All right, let's wrap things up for the picks. The Bears, Milt, they just look dreadful, losing to Tyler Huntley and the Ravens on Sunday. But I tell you what, your schedule so often is all about timing. Chicago now goes into Cincinnati, where Joe Flacco's shoulder isn't right. Jake Browning is waiting in the wings, and you think those Bears can cover by a field goal or more.
Joe Burrow could come back. That defense for the Bengals is horrible. Last in the league, giving up almost 32 points a game. So I don't care who you bring back. You could bring back a young Doug Flutie, Tom Brady to that defense. It doesn't matter to that Bengals team, because that defense is just so bad. I can't believe they didn't invest any type of money, didn't bring anyone in to help out that defense. They just thought they could outscore people, and they thought they could do it against the Jets, and they couldn't get it done. So the Bears will go in there and take care of the Bengals, more so not because of the offense. They can score some points, even with Flacco not playing because of those receivers, but defensively, they can't stop anyone.
All right, so let's wrap up the picks. Doug this week likes Green Bay to cover 12.5 over Carolina, the 49ers to cover 3 in New York, and the Colts to cover 3-point favorites on the road at Pittsburgh. Milt likes KC to go into Buffalo and get that victory there. He also likes the Bears to cover this week, and for San Francisco to beat the Giants. Our picks, Flutie versus Stegall, are powered by BODOG. All right, guys. I'm old enough to remember all of 2-3 years ago when they told us running backs were dime a dozen in the National Football League. And then along came Derrick Henry, and then along came Saquon Barkley, and they ended that narrative. And Jonathan Taylor is just putting the nail in the coffin of that conversation. Number 1 in the NFL in carries, in rush yards, in rushing touchdowns, fourth quarter rushing yards, missed tackles, rush yards after contact, a pile more. Jonathan Taylor, along with Daniel Jones, yes, is the engine to Indianapolis being 7-1 this season.
What?
Doug, you know the value of a quality, not just a quality run game, a bell cow back who can do it all, and that's exactly what Jonathan Taylor's doing.
What's amazing is to watch his I'm not big on who scores the touchdown, who gets the last yard and in the end zone. But Jonathan Taylor is scoring from out. He had an 80-yard run this week that looked like he should have got knocked out of bounds 3 times and tackled on the way through, and still keeps his stride, runs through, running through tackles, making people miss yards after contact, all that with him. When he has a chance in the open field, he finishes the run. He gets in the end zone. He's catching the ball a little bit out of the backfield, 25 catches this year, receptions. The only aspect that's missing is like the McCaffrey option route guy. He's not really that. He's catching his screens. He catches the wheel route. He catches the swing pay, all that stuff. And then obviously the offensive line there's got to have something to do with this because they're throwing the heck out of the ball, running the ball extremely well. But he looks dynamic. He looks fresh legs all the time. And Milt, he can carry the ball not only across the goal line, he makes it to the end of the end zone. He gets to the back of the end zone before he drops it. It's like he does. What is the dance? Do you know what I'm talking about? The dance thing?
Where he's skipping in. Yeah. I'm scared he's going to hurt himself. I'm like, that's tough on the body right there. I wouldn't want to do that, man, with my knees. You know what the sad thing about all this is, though? Running backs are still undervalued. They're still underpaid. There's only one running back who makes $20 million or more, and that's Saquon Barkley. Taylor is like $14, $15 million. Relatively speaking, these guys are still undervalued. I mean, you have 11, 12 receivers who are making $30 million or more. Are receivers more important than running backs? These owners got together and said, we're not going to pay these running backs. We're not giving them these big contracts anymore because we can find quality running backs or the second and third round. And if they come in and have a couple of good years, we'll let them go and replace them. So it's a sad thing that Jonathan Taylor won't be paid what he's worth. He could have 3,000 yards and he will still not be paid what he's worth because these owners have gotten together and said, we're not going to pay these guys those big contracts anymore.
Well, the scary part with running backs is longevity, how quickly they start getting beat up and go through. Jonathan Taylor doesn't look like he takes a lot of big hits. I just so far, I mean, still he's young, fresh legs, all that. But that's the fear with the big contracts, which to me means they should be offered more money because they're getting beat up and it's a short career.
Yeah.
I remember being at Super Bowl earlier this year and being around Saquon at a media availability. One thing he talked about, he said, you have a strong run game. It can take away a defense's will.
Yes.
And Milt, one thing that you just touched on, the borderline collusion that's gone on in the NFL. Any team could have had Saquon.
Not borderline. It's real.
Saquon's cap hit last season was equivalent of the 9th highest paid safety in the NFL. Which would you rather have? Saquon carrying the mail or that? Amazing how it works.
I mean, it's no question. It's no question.
Wow. Now, still,
here's a hot take
I'll take $14.5 million right now, but go ahead. I understand that, but I'll take $14.5 million right now. Go ahead.
Here's a hot take for you both. A team that started 1-5 is going to win the division. Yep. What? You're asking me? The Baltimore Ravens in the AFC North are getting Lamar Jackson back. We just talked about it. Tyler Huntley helped the Ravens knock off Chicago over the weekend. And now Lamar comes back for the first weekend of November in a division where the Bengals are hopeless. Pittsburgh looks like it has a ton of issues, and they're 4-3. And Cleveland is just Cleveland. Myles Garrett at the end of the bench, he's just, he signed up for it. He knew what he was doing when he took the bag. Is it a hot take or is it a lukewarm take that the Ravens could come out the champions of the AFC North?
I'll start this off. I'll say lukewarm. Lukewarm. You mentioned the conference they're in, AFC North, and the Bengals defense is horrible. Pittsburgh, we see what they have, and the Browns. If it was soccer like they do in the Premier League, they would be regulated to another league. And more important than that, you look at their schedule. Their next 7 games: the Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals. 7 games. They could win all 7 of those games and be in first place. So I would not be surprised if the Baltimore Ravens, if Lamar Jackson comes back like the Lamar Jackson of last year, not the way he was playing before he got hurt. If he can do that, I wouldn't be surprised if they finish first in the AFC North.
And the teams ahead of them right now, and Arash, you already said about Flacco. Flacco's a little banged up. The shoulder's not right. He blah, blah, blah. I said, 40-year-old quarterback. I was fortunate that I only played these little short windows of 3 weeks or 4 weeks and whatever. And you can stay healthy and play fresh. But to play an 18-game season, to play into the playoffs, to try to run through 18 weeks and stay healthy, it's hard. And you see a regression in your mobility and your arm strength, and those are the quarterbacks that are ahead of them. So I would be buying right now with Lamar Jackson coming back.
It's Flutie versus Stegall. We are powered by BODOG. It's Halloween week in the National Football League, which means the trade deadline just a few days away. Look, the trade deadline doesn't really move the needle like it does in other sports. Baseball, obviously, you can make major changes in late July. But in football, a couple of tweaks can really turn things, especially with the injuries that Doug just talked about. We've already seen Pittsburgh. They went out and signed Marquez Valdes-Scantling, a 2-time Super Bowl champion who gives Aaron Rodgers some comfort food, having worked together in Green Bay. Doug, you think Pittsburgh needs to add? Because, we in Sunday night may have exposed them in that second half of a lot of warts and wounds that they have on that roster.
I just don't see it happening in the NFL. I don't see that happen a lot where you get to add that guy at the break. Yeah, they could use some help. Yeah, they could use some explosive guy at receiver to turn it around. But who's going to, we saw one trade in the division that somebody gets upset about and somebody's helping somebody else. You're going to help somebody? I don't think you're in the market to help other teams right now. So I don't see much happening. I think you are what you are, and you move forward and just turn it loose and hope your quarterback stays healthy.
Milt, you think another team on the NFC side, a defensive player can tip the scales on a team that somehow kind of quietly, which seems impossible for Dallas and Jerry Jones, is second in the NFC East right now.
They're second. Offensively, they're getting it done. Last week wasn't their best game, but Prescott is getting it done. I mentioned this last week, maybe the best duo receivers in the NFL. No disrespect to Cincinnati, but they're getting it done. But offensively, but defensively, it's bad. And it's bad on all 3 levels. But the one level that can come in right away and make an impact, because they really don't have to learn too much, but just get after the quarterback, and that's an edge rusher. You have guys, you got Hendrickson, you have Max Crosby. But if I'm Jerry Jones, I got 3 first-round picks. Listen to what I say. There's a guy in Cleveland, one of the best defensive players, not only in the league this year, but in NFL history.
Yes.
He's unhappy. Yes. You got 3 first-round picks. Myles Garrett. That would shake this thing up. That would put them in the playoffs right away. Right away. Jerry Jones, you got 3 first-round picks. There are no Myles Garrett in the NCAA right now. There won't be a Myles Garrett for another 30 years. Make that trade, and I guarantee you'll be in the playoffs. Didn't he have 5 sacks last week? 5 sacks. Didn't he have 5 sacks in one game?
Yeah. Generational player.
Yes.
Before the age of 30, has the most sacks in NFL history. One of those 5 surpassed the great Reggie White, the late great Reggie White, for most sacks. Imagine the hoopla in Dallas if Myles Garrett ends up a Cowboy.
Rewind to the offseason or the preseason and losing Micah Parsons.
It's
Rewind to losing that pass rush. Pass rusher changes the game because your corners now don't have to hold up as long. You can play more man coverage. You're getting there with a 4-man rush. You're changing offensive schemes and pass protection. Like they've got to chip. They got to put a tight end over that guy. Okay, you line them up on the other side. You're sliding the line. You're doing a lot of things. When there's a premier pass rusher, it changes the game.
Everything.
Doug, who is the fiercest pass rusher you may have gone up against?
Reggie White. Reggie White, you just brought him up. Reggie White, we were actually go back to the USFL days, my rookie year. I was rolling my left. It was a 3rd and longish. I didn't want to cross the line of scrimmage. I'm slowing down to try to go upfield, and Reggie was chasing from behind. Wrapped both arms, pinned my arms, lifted, drilled my shoulder into the ground, separated shoulder, broken collarbone, out. I was talking to Phil Simms. Did the same exact. It was his go-to move. He'd wrap your arms, tuck you, lift, and drive. And he was a force. You had, like I said, you had to account for him. You had to slide the line his way. You check protections at the line to slide his way. The back chipping on that side, all those things that restrict you in the pass game, but are necessary to get rid of the football because one guy's not going to handle it.
I got a quick story about Reggie White. In 1995, I was in mini camp and training camp with the Green Bay Packers, and the most amazing thing I ever seen in my life is Reggie White in the weight room. He was basically curling what I was benching. His workout routine, it's amazing to see this man. It was so big, just be so nimble, and the things he did it was the most. I've never been starstruck. That's not my thing. But watching this man work out was the most amazing thing I ever seen in my life.
When someone got a hold of me, I was like, get to the ground as soon as possible. I would just drop. The break and tackle thing is over. Someone gets a hold, boom, and Reggie. I'll tell you, the size, the strength, the speed, the quickness, the arms, the way he threw people around. It was a joke.
It's Flutie versus Stegall. We are powered by BODOG. These are the stories. These are the insights that has made us one of North America's fastest growing football podcasts. We appreciate all of you for your support. You can like and subscribe on YouTube, on Apple, and on Spotify. All right, let's go through our picks of the week. Coming into this week, Milt 14-7, Doug 12-9. Doug likes Green Bay over Carolina to cover the 12.5. He likes San Francisco as the road fave in New York and the Colts to cover against Pittsburgh. Milt likes Chicago by a field goal or more against Cincinnati. He likes the 49ers to cover and beat the Giants, and for Kansas City to win in Buffalo in the game of the week. The last word goes to Doug Flutie. I was trying to explain to somebody the other day what they're going to encounter in Western New York on Sunday with a 4:25 start and about a 10-hour lead-in the tailgate lot of what the scene is going to be. I'm not sure there's a better person who could set the scene of what humanity will be on display there in Orchard Park. Doug Flutie, go.
The RVs start rolling in on Wednesday afternoon. We go on vacation to the parking lot in Buffalo. You've got 8 home games a year guaranteed. It's vacation time. They roll in with the RVs starting Wednesday afternoon. We come out of practice on Wednesday. People are already set up and tailgate.
Wow.
It's on. Now, the last time I was up was a night game in the snow. We're breaking tables, bonfires, bands playing. I had to sit in on the drums by the bonfire. I didn't get the opportunity. There were too many people lining up to break a table. All right. So they love. Shirts are optional as long as it's below 30 degrees. Your shirt's up. No, it'll be a hornet's nest. It'll be fun. Buffalo plays great at home. I love playing it. It felt like a definite home field advantage. Again, the variables are the defense, but that's why I stayed away from it, Mill. The variables in these games.
I had to jump on it. This is the game of the week. I had to jump on it.
Go get it. But it is going to be wild. Yeah. It'll be fun. It's a shame it's a 4:00 kick and not a night game, but they will be lubed up nice. The alcohol will be flowing early. It's been flowing for 5 days. It's been flowing since Wednesday afternoon out there. So they're good to go.
It's rare for either of you to look like you still want to strap it on and play, but the way Doug was talking about Sunday, it looks like, I got one more snap in me, McDermott.
I say this. I got one good drive or one good hit, whatever comes first. Once they hit me, I'm done.
I just want to run out and hear my name being called. That's it. Just run out for the introductions and I'm good.
Just jog out for pregame.
That's it, and I'm good.
We'll have to simulate that on a show coming up later this season. It's been Flutie versus Stegall. We're powered by BODOG. Thanks to all of you for making us one of North America's fastest growing podcasts. Like and subscribe on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. We will see you next week with Doug Flutie and Milt Stegall.